So hello friends, now let us see when we are dealing with chapter 1 of chemistry standard 9. When we look around ourselves, we see or feel certain things. We see books, etc. We see human beings, we see buildings, we see the blackboard, we see this, say for example, we see the mobile phones, we see water, we see smoke. Sometimes we feel air. These things which we can see or feel, if they have mass, that means if they occupy space, and then they are called matter. Now let me try to little bit distinguish, heat is not a form of matter. All right. Heat we can feel, but heat is not a form of matter. Anger is not a form of matter. The vacuum is not a form of matter, because vacuum does not occupy space. There is nothing inside. Vacuum does not have mass. So that is there. It's a very simple thing to understand. So matter is anything which has mass, occupies space, and can be felt by any of our five senses. It also offers resistance. Suppose I have to move an almirah, then I have to apply force. So matter will offer resistance. Even if it is air, when the aeroplanes are moving, then air will offer resistance, and that is why due to friction the aeroplane gets heated up. So that's there. All forms of matter are made up of very tiny particles. The particles, sometimes if the matter form is an element, then the particles which they are made up of are generally atoms, and if they are compounds, then they are called molecules. So that we have, like say for example, through our experience, though in chemistry the chapter is yet to come, but in your day-to-day life you might have heard formula of water is H2O. So H2O is a compound made up of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. So that we'll deal later. Now let us try to understand the nature of matter. Matter is made up of very tiny particles, you know that, and then these particles, they are in constant motion. They are in constant motion. That is why some form of matter you can see moving. Suppose I open a perfume bottle, then and leave it there, then the perfumes, the smell will reach to the other person on the other end of the room, and so on. So particles of matter are in constant motion. The motion is very well defined in liquids and in gases. But yeah, in solids there will be very, very, very slow motion, very slow motion. But it has been seen, if you keep a pile of chalk on a table, your study table, if you come after years, you will see some chalk has moved down to the wood. So it is there in solid, but it is not so well defined. So we have got this till here. Now particles of matter are having attraction between them. That is why when the smoke is going, though it is in gases, the particles are very loosely held, but still they make up their own form, and you see all of them together going, isn't it? After some times they will dissolve, but there is interparticulate attraction in form of matter, in all forms of matter. All right. And then now gradually we come to understand that let us see one of the phenomenon which will tell that matter has got space in their in between their particles, and also particles are moving. Let me check this. I have kept a glass of water, and I have got some Dettol, and I am trying to put it here, the Dettol. Let me put one drop, and you see what is happening. You see what is happening. Have a look. So this Dettol is going inside. So after some time there will be a uniform color. And you see what is happening now. The Dettol color is now the water color is now changed into totally white. So that means what has happened, the volume. Have a look, the mixing is taking place. Just have a look, the mixing is taking place. So what I want to tell you through this experiment, there are two things. First thing is that the Dettol is going, and then the water was colorless, now it has become completely white, and there is only, you see only 10 to 15, 20, 30 drops I have added, but this is totally white now it is becoming. So where did the Dettol particle go? The Dettol particle started getting in between the water particles, and that is why it proves that there is space. Secondly, there is movement. That is why gradually the movement was, and the mixing was taking place, and then the whole water, automatically there was some uniform distribution, and then the whole Dettol particles, they got adjusted in between the overall water particles. So what two things again we clarify through this experiment: water has forms of matter have got intermolecular space, and secondly they have got the particles are in constant motion. So that is what we have studied. The particle of matter have intermolecular force of attraction between them, and they've got intermolecular space between them. So this is the first part which we have to really understand about matter. And also matter particles are very, very tiny. This you can do another experiment at home. You know, you take take some good amount of 2 tablespoons of sugar and mix it with 1 glass of water. And then once that is formed and you taste, it's very, very sweet, then you take only 1 spoon out and put in another glass of water. You will take another glass, will also be sweet. Yeah, to little later extent, then you take out another, and then thus 1 teaspoon from the next glass, which was little lesser sweet, you put, then the sweetness still continues to go to very long time. That means if that's 2 tablespoons of sugar, it continued to distribute the property of sugar, that is sweetness, because some particle from here, say for example 500 particles, 500 hundreds and hundreds of thousands particles, and from there say for example 10%, and 10% kept on going. So that means matter is made up of very, very tiny particles. We cannot see particles. Normally we name them molecules and atoms. We cannot see through even simplest of now we cannot see through through naked eyes, through magnifying glasses. We cannot see molecules and atoms through microscopes, strong microscopes. Some very strong microscopes called electron microscopes, they can let us see the molecules and atoms. That is subjected to the scientist, and trust me, I have never seen those. So that is there. So matter particles are also very, very tiny. All right, so this is the first part of introduction. So your question will be, what is matter? So you will define matter this way: matter is anything which has mass, occupies space, can be felt by any of our 5 senses, and also matter offers resistances. Space means, you know, space, what is the meaning of space? Matter occupies space. That means matter has got volume, you know, matter has got volume. That is very, very important to understand. And then mass means what? Mass, when combined, any mass when attracted by gravitation force, then it comes to be known as weight. So you can see that you feel when you have to lift anything, you feel that it has got some particles which is making this form of matter. So that is the first part which we have to understand. Thank you.